Hello and greetings. I'm Greg Smith. I'm the country director for the USFDA India office, and I'm very honored to be here with you all virtually today. I joined the office 2 years ago, first in a policy role, then as a deputy director, and I'm very glad to take the opportunity to take the leadership of this office, continue the great work of our previous leadership, and advance the important efforts of the FDA India office. I also want to thank the leadership of IPA for convening this important discussion, and I look forward to hearing from the esteemed experts on these important topics. To start with today, I want to talk about really three things. I want to talk about some of the data that we see in India from the FDA perspective. I want to talk about some of our key engagements, priorities, key messages, and then as well, I want to look at some of the engagements that we have coming up in the months ahead. This slide highlights the importance of India to the US and to the global market. India hosts the largest number of FDA-registered drug manufacturing facilities outside the United States. It also represents about 40% of the generic drugs that our patients consume. We see here, this is the primary states that have the highest number of FDA-registered facilities in India, with Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. And we are really grateful that we have the opportunity to work with state regulators in each of these locations. Here we have FY24 demographics for manufacturing sites globally. We can see in this slide that India has the highest number of manufacturing sites outside the United States in the orange on this pie chart, followed by China and then Germany. Here we have an overview of the CEDAR site catalog and the CEDAR product catalog. The site catalog, which includes 6,500 sites globally, and that includes both FDF and API facilities. Out of those 6,500, 598 sites are in India. And as for the product catalog, which include NDCs for new drugs, biologics, generics, biosimilars, and OTC drugs, there's 200,000 FDFs, and 23,000 of those are from India, 20,000 APIs, and 6,700 of those are from India. It's important now to break down the data a little bit. We talked about sites and the number of sites, and we talked about global numbers, but now let's look at the types of products that are being made in India. The vast majority, as you can see here in the pie chart in blue, is ANDA products, which represent 80% of all products coming from India. And then secondly, you would see in yellow, the 13% there is OTCs, then with a very small number of NDAs. It's also important to note that over 100 of the medicines in the list of essential medicines in US government are made here in India. Here, let's start looking at some inspection outcomes by country or region. You can see in this chart below, this bar chart, we see the various countries listed below, and the one that is highlighted there is India. And based on FY23 data, 11% of the facilities in India had a most recent inspection outcome of OAI, or official action indicated, which is the highest number compared to any other region. And this is a measure of site compliance that may not equate directly with product quality. Here we can see an overview of the number of inspections per year in India and then its final classification. This is fiscal year 2018 through 2024. We're starting to see the increase back to pre-COVID numbers of inspections per year. Even this number here is showing a lesser number than what we'll actually see at the conclusion of the fiscal year, as we are waiting for some inspections to reach the final classification state. This graphic represents the 10 most frequent inspection observation citations in India between FY 2018 and FY 2024. And the most frequently cited items relate to problems in the quality system and laboratory controls. It's in blue and then in orange. Imported pharmaceuticals are very important to America, and US depends heavily upon them. And then the FDA also plays a key role in ensuring product safety and quality. That's why our collaboration between industry and regulators is critical to achieving high standards. India is vital to the US drug supply chain with 598 registered sites producing APIs, generics, and OTC products. Indian facilities play a key role in essential medicines and medical countermeasures. That's why FDA wants to work closely with the Indian pharmaceutical sector, especially in circumstances like drug shortages. At times, these can stem from issues in quality systems and clinical trial oversight. Work is needed to strengthen commitment to quality, and please work with our drug shortage staff if any of these circumstances are encountered. When it comes to FDA's role in India, we are always building these essential messages into our engagements. First, we ask for a culture of quality, both top down from leadership to staff and bottom up from operators to the C-suite. We also ask for practices that ensure integrity of manufacturing and clinical data. And we're also asking for transparent quality systems that enable investment in reliable and quality producers. The FDA is very invested in engaging in India. Of course, we do inspections, but we also have 15 years of track record of engaging with you, the industry, with key stakeholders, with academia, with the government of India, to see how we can assist, to see how we can learn, and to see how we can make a difference together. One of our most important collaborative partnerships has been with CDSCO. And since we signed a statement of intent in 2014 and then a MOU in 2020, CDSCO has observed over 1,000 inspections in India since 2020, and strengthening both regulatory systems and our partnership together. Post-COVID, we've increased our inspections and our collaborations with state regulators to build capacity. And recent workshops and meetings have expanded knowledge sharing between the US and the Indian regulators, and we can see a whole wide array of different engagements we've had in the past year. The FDA also recognizes it's really important, and the US government recognizes the importance of working with the government of India on shared public health issues, including the US-India Health Dialogue, which happens every 2 years, the US-India Counter-Narcotics Working Group, which is upcoming in the next week here in India. In fact, US agencies and Indian agencies were able to work together on an operation called Broader Sword in 2023, which targeted shipments of illicit, potentially dangerous, unapproved prescription drugs, combination medical devices, and synthetic drug precursors shipped through international mail facilities. And that important collaboration led to the seizures of hundreds of packages being shipped into the mail facilities in America. FDA also participated in the first US-India Cancer Moonshot Dialogue. It's an important bridge between Indian regulators, stakeholders, academia, industry, to share information about how FDA approves oncology medical products. It also informs us about key areas of subject matter expertise that will be helpful to both industry and government of India as we move forward to address these critical issues together. FDA also actively engages with the Indian pharmaceutical associations to promote quality across the drug life cycle, as we're doing here today. These interactions are very important to us, as both regulator and regulated industry can discuss stewardship of pharmaceutical quality throughout the life cycle of drug products being marketed around the world. We see here in the photos a great picture of IPA leadership meeting with our leadership of FDA in Washington, D.C. just in April of 2024. Recent participation in the IPA Global Pharmaceutical Quality Summit in June, and then as well the commissioner's visit to India, which many of you were able to participate and meet with him when he was here. Here are some of the other engagements we've had with industry recently, including PDA India in 2024, the ISPI Annual Conference, the CPHI Pharma Leaders Roundtable, many engagements with ISCR. And then as well, we're particularly proud of the QMM conference that we had with PDA, just a few weeks ago, where our experts from the US who were assessing the QMM tool were able to run the pilot with a firm here in India. We are able to interact in many different types of engagements here in India, whether it's collaborations with the government of India and CDSCO, to attending industry-sponsored events to share data, perspectives, and insight. But we also have the opportunity to host some signature events designed and hosted by FDA India office, including the ANDA workshop, which we held at the end of last year, where over 400 industry participants representing around 90 firms attended to learn about the life cycle of a generic drug. We also hosted a MedTech conference in April 2024. We were able to talk about the journey of a product from the mind to the market for innovative new medical device technologies. FDA was able to present the regulatory framework as innovators seek to scale their products in a global health market. And then most recently, we were able to host the BABE Roadshow, and then a sponsor side session, which was just in September 2024. We had senior leadership from FDA from many different offices, including Dr. Elin Murphy, who's the director of the Office of Generic Drugs in Cedar. And they came to share some important updates, some critical messages, and insights on best practices for conducting and overseeing BABE studies. They were able to meet privately with sponsors and study site representatives. And we were able to listen, to learn, to discuss topics related to sponsors' responsibilities for overseeing BA and BE studies. And then as we go forward the next few months, the FDA India office will be participating in a clinical trial event in association with ICMR that they're hosting. And that will focus on phase 1 in oncology. And then as well, another signature event that the FDA India office is planning and we'll be releasing more information on soon is at the beginning of 2025, we'll be hosting another roadshow focused on biosimilars, where we're going to have a great panel of amazing experts coming from the US to talk about this important topic. As I conclude my talk today, I'd like to echo the voices of the subject matter experts, whether it was Dr. Murphy from OGD or Dr. Cavazzoni speaking at a recent conference or Dr. Caliph visiting India. I want to continue to advocate for one high quality of product regardless of destination market. I challenge you all to reflect on ways to ensure and empower a culture of quality at your organizations. This culture should go beyond CGMP and should facilitate continuous improvement. Quality is a shared responsibility, and working together, we can improve access to safe, effective, high-quality treatment options as patients, consumers, and global public health depends upon us. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you for the learnings that you've shared with me in my time in India. I look forward to our continued collaboration and the invaluable insights we will share. Namaskar.